Are you feeling like every time you turn around, you find out you've made yet another financial mistake in your business? Well, stay tuned because I've got you covered. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Profit Factor podcast. Each week on this show, I talk about all the things you need for a profitable company and a thriving life. Now, today, I'm excited to be talking about the top 10 mistakes that I see entrepreneurs make and how you can avoid them. Now, if you're here live with me, let me know in the chat, or if you're catching the replay, also let me know in the chat because full disclosure, guys, I need you to engage with this episode as much as possible so that the algorithm gods show this video to as many entrepreneurs as possible, because I believe that knowledge is power and I want to spread that power. Now, if you're new here, my name is Danae Wolf and I am a former financial hot mess who's on a mission to help female entrepreneurs achieve financial education, empowerment, and freedom. And one of the ways I do that is through this show, because I believe that increasing your financial IQ can literally change your life. Now, let's get into today's training because I'm excited to share with you these 10 biggest financial mistakes that I so often see my students make. And I want to teach you guys how you can avoid them, okay? Now, I want you to keep in mind that these 10 things that I'm going to list, these things are not in any type of particular order. So I don't want you to think I'm saying like number 1 is worse than number 3 or anything like that. Okay. So let's get started. The very first financial mistake that I see entrepreneurs making is not having a clear financial plan. Okay. So they are lacking a financial plan, which is like going on a road trip without a map. Okay, you need a plan to set specific financial goals, such as revenue targets, profit margins, expenses, and you need to be able to track your performance against these goals. Okay, I like to call a financial plan a profit plan, okay, because you need to be able to identify any type of financial risks or any type of opportunities, and you need to be able to make informed decisions. And every time I speak to entrepreneurs, I find that you guys have plans for everything in your business. Like if we're talking about hiring someone, you're like, boom, this is the ad I did and the funnel I built to get in the best candidate, right? You have a plan for everything in your business, but not your profit. And this is just a huge mistake that I see entrepreneurs making, okay? We've got to be intentional about the profit in our business. And the only way we're going to do that is by having a profit plan, okay? And if you stay tuned to the end, I'm going to give you guys my free profit plan template, which is really going to help you avoid that mistake that I see happening. Now, financial mistake number 2 that I see impacting the entrepreneurial community is not managing your cash flow. Okay, I tell you guys all the time, cash is queen. And if you're not managing it properly in your business, you're going to find yourself in big trouble, okay? You have to be paying attention to all of the cash that is coming in of your business and all of the cash that is coming out of your business. And you have to make sure that you have a contingency plan if for some reason cash isn't what you expected it to be. So maybe a customer doesn't pay in time, or maybe expenses end up being much higher than you projected. You need, for lack of a better term, guys, oh shit money, okay? You need to have that nest egg of cash so that you never find yourself in a situation where you're cash poor. Because if you do not have cash, you do not have a business, okay? One of the things that I think most people don't realize is even profitable businesses can have a cash flow problem. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I see. You just don't track your cash, you don't manage your cash, and you don't have oh shit cash laying away, keeping it for a rainy day. Okay, so I always want you guys to make sure you have that emergency fund. And I think so often when we talk about money, people really know that in our personal lives, we should have oh shit money, right? We have that emergency savings fund in our personal life, but I want you guys to know as entrepreneurs, we need that in our business as well. Now, financial mistake number 3 is taking on too much debt. Okay. Now, taking on debt in your business can be very useful because it can help you with growth and expansion, but you also really need to know your limits. Okay. Taking on too much debt can increase your financial risks, and it can make it really hard for you to pay all of your bills when you have this really high debt on your business. Early on in my entrepreneurial career, I'm sure you guys know if you've been following me, but I opened up a restaurant that nearly bankrupted me. I was literally getting evicted because I was so broke. But one of the biggest issues in that restaurant was my business loan. It was nearly $5,000 a month. So we have to be really careful when we look at the debt that we take on, because you have to make sure that the debt is going to actually make you money. Okay, so if we are taking out money to do something in our business, we should make sure that we're going to get a return on that investment, that we're going to actually make money back. And you want to make sure that you're paying attention to, am I going to be able to make enough money that it's increasing my profits, but also I can pay the debt payment. Okay. So if you're taking out a loan to invest into your business because you think it's going to increase profits, you need to ask yourself, did it increase profits enough that I can afford that loan payment? So I really want you to think about it, because debt can be a slippery slope. And if you're wondering where you can see debt in your business, take a look at your balance sheet. Okay. If you have a bookkeeper or a professional running your books for you, you will be able to see there'll be a section that says liability. Okay. That's where I want you to go to see what your debt is that you currently have on your company. But you need to be thinking about it. You need to be paying attention to it and making sure that if you're taking on debt, what's the reason? Okay. Why are you taking out this loan? Is it to make more money? So I want you to be really clear on that. Now, financial mistake number 4 that I see entrepreneurs making all the time is you're not diversifying your revenue streams. Okay. I don't want you to put all your eggs in one basket, ladies. Okay. I want you to make sure that you have several ways that you make money in your business. Okay. So you want to be thinking about that and making sure that you are prepared, because if all of your eggs are in one basket and something happens and for some reason you can't sell that product or service anymore, you're screwed. And you don't want that to be the case. So I always encourage you to think, how can I diversify my revenue streams? What are other things that I can sell in my business? So for me personally, we have done for you services for our CFO services. Then we have our group coaching program, our Profit Perfect Academy, and then we have private coaching. So we have multiple ways that we bring income into the business. So if you are operating a business where all your eggs are in one basket, I want you to start thinking about diversifying. Now, having said that, I also want to say, if you are a newer business, okay, now's not the time to diversify. I am a firm believer of getting in and going all in on one thing and perfecting that. Okay. So I didn't launch with several streams of revenue. I went all in on one, got that like a well-oiled machine before I started to diversify. Because have you ever heard the saying, what is it? Jack of all trades, master of none. I don't want that to be you, girl. We don't want to be like that. We want to go all in, perfect one, and then start diversifying our revenue streams. Okay. But make sure you perfect the first one first. Now, financial mistake number 5 is failing to review and update financial projections. Okay. This is huge, guys. You need to stay on top of your numbers. Okay. You need to make sure that you are regularly reviewing and updating your finances. A lot of times I will see entrepreneurs set goals at year end or the beginning of the year. It's always like that New Year's resolution type of thing, right? We're all pretty amped up. We're very goal oriented. And we're like, this year we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and here's our goals. but then we kind of set it and forget it. That's not how this works, okay? You have to inspect what you expect. So I want to make sure that you are intentionally looking at your goals versus your actuals. And if your goal is to make $10,000 a month and you fall short of that, you now need to recast the rest of the year to get that shortage accounted for. And so often that just doesn't happen because we're setting our goals and then we're not following up, right? It's important that you are paying attention to your goals versus actual, and you are pivoting and changing things as you need to, okay? You put the time and effort into setting those goals. You need to make sure you're actually hitting them. Pay attention, right? Actually inspect what you expect. I'm telling you, it's going to be a huge game changer in your business. Now, financial mistake number 6 is I see entrepreneurs neglecting to invest in their employee training and development. Okay. Your team is your biggest asset. Okay. I'm going to say that again because it's so important. Your team is your biggest asset. So you need to be providing opportunities for them to be training and improving their skill set, okay? Training and improving their productivity, because the stronger they are, okay, the more skilled they are, the more productive they are, is the more profitable your business is going to be. They are completely linked. So it's really important that you are paying attention to that. You need to be setting your team members up for success. You need to make sure that they are able to increase their skill set and continue to grow, because I want you to very much be aware of the connection between their growth and your business's growth. Okay, so always keep them up to date on the latest trends, all the things they need to know, because number one, it's going to make them feel like you really are invested in them and respect their role in the business. I have spoken to many disgruntled employees because they're just kind of like, oh, well, my boss won't pay for this new app that we really need that would make my job run so much smoother, right? Have those conversations, pay attention. Does your VA know how to use the latest apps and trends? Do the people on your team know how to work with an efficiency lens on, right? We want to pay attention to those things because it's just going to increase your bottom line. And getting stuck in this way of just like, this is how we do things, it's not going to work for you, right? We want to say, how should we be doing things? We always want to be open for improvement, okay? So pay attention to your team. Ask them, right? Where do you feel you're weak in your job? Let them know it's a safe space, right? For them to say, and they might say, you know, I'm really struggling with how to use ZenMaid, right? Great. You're going to set time aside for them to go in, do a tutorial, and feel more confident in their skills, because they might even be feeling nervous to tell you that they feel like they're lacking on something. So if they know it's a safe space and that you guys are both coming from a place of wanting them to be stronger and better at their jobs because it's better for the business, they're going to be open and honest with you. But you want to make sure that you're setting that tone that you want them to be improving and growing always. Now, financial mistake number 7 is very much in line with this. It is a mistake where I see entrepreneurs just not staying current on industry trends and developments, okay? Ladies, you've got to stay relevant. You've got to stay up to date on the latest industry trends and developments so that you can help identify new opportunities within your market and also stay competitive, okay? You've got to be able to pivot and adapt strategies according to what's going on in your industry. So if you're not staying in the know with that stuff, you're really giving yourself a disservice, because you don't want your clients to say, oh, well, this other company is doing X, Y, and Z. Like, why aren't you doing that? Because then it makes them feel like you're not in the know, right? It's your job to be in the know. You have to be in groups and masterminds with people in your industry, okay? I'm in a mastermind for accountants because I want to know what the heck's going on. What are other people doing? I can learn something from them, maybe a little thing that they do for their customers, for customer appreciation, or a new software or app that they're using that's making their life easier, okay? You need to find a community of like-minded women in your industry and learn from them, okay? That's the best way to stay on top of what is trending. What are other people doing that is working? And on the flip side, you're also going to find out what are people doing that's not working so you can know what to avoid. This is how you're going to stay ahead of that curve. Now, financial mistake number 8 that I see entrepreneurs making is not building strong relationships with the key members in your team. And that could be those who work for you or those who you're working for, okay? So yes, we want to have all of our customers treated as equals, but let's be serious. Not all customers are equal. So you might have one that's kind of a pain in the ass, and then you might have that one that is just a delight and sends you new customers all the time. Maintain that relationship, okay? If they are an important person in your company, whether it's on your team or on the client side of things, respect that. Make sure you're establishing that trust, that loyalty, because you want to cultivate a long-term relationship, okay? Typically, if a customer stands out to you, they're going above and beyond, right? Maybe they're the ones posting on social about you, giving you really great reviews. Maybe they're sending you referrals all the time. Maybe they send you Christmas cards, right? They're usually doing something above and beyond to stand out to you. So guess what? You need to go above and beyond for them. And it's the same thing with the people on your team. You know who they are, the ones who go above and beyond and give you that extra. Make sure you're giving that extra right back, okay? You need to be able to identify who those key people are, okay? Who keeps your operation running, whether it's on the client side or the team side. Give them that extra love, okay? And guys, this before everybody's like, I can't afford that. Don't even go there, okay? It doesn't need to be that. Like, it could be a little handwritten note, right? That maybe you slip in their paycheck that makes them feel extra appreciated. Maybe a little Amazon gift card, right? This doesn't need to be lavish things, but it's the little details that count and that make people feel recognized. And it's really, really important. Now, financial mistake number 9 that I see business owners making is not having adequate insurance, okay? You need to protect your ass, okay? Protect your business and make sure that you have the correct amount of coverage, okay? Especially, I know a lot of you guys are cleaning companies who are listening to this. Make sure your insurance company is going to cover if one of your cleaners causes some issues in someone's house. Maybe true story, I've had this happen with a client of mine. They had a shower glass door completely crack and break, okay? That was thousands of dollars to repair. She had the right insurance. Make sure you have the right insurance. So I want you guys to make sure that you're speaking to your insurance broker on a regular basis and just saying, hey, am I protected? Am I covered? I can tell you when I was like 6 months pregnant with my first child, okay, my restaurant flooded. Wild, like literally got woken up from a phone call. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning and they're like, your restaurant's flooding. Like there's water coming out the door onto the street. And it was the scariest thing, but it all ended up being okay because my insurance was rock solid. But there was that couple of hours of terror of me being like, do I have enough insurance? I don't know. Like I just, you don't know what you don't know, right? Now I know because I'm checking in with it and I'm constantly making sure I have a great relationship with my broker and we are strategizing and making sure, do I need to increase something? We did more revenue this year. Should we tweak it? But you want to make sure you're intentional about that. You don't want to find out the hard way that you're underinsured. So make sure that's something you're checking in on an annual basis. And finally, okay, financial mistake number 10 that I see is you guys are not updating your business plan, okay? You need that roadmap to success, okay? And you've got to be updating it regularly. So we spoke before about making sure you have a profit plan and you're intentional about how much money you want to make in your business. A business plan, okay? This is you specifically saying the way in which you do business and operate. So we talked about diversifying your revenue, right? What are those streams of revenue? What are the expenses you have? And how do you operate? Operations are truly a critical component of a successful business. So your business plan maps out the way you do business. This is something you need to be paying attention to. I always tell my students, your business plan, okay, your SOPs, that's your secret sauce, okay? A lot of people have cleaning companies, but what sets you apart? It's your secret sauce. It's the way you do things. What are your process, okay? What are your standard operating procedures? This is all a part of that business plan. How do you operate? The way I operate my company is going to be different than the way somebody else operates their company, right? And it's what makes me different and unique, but we need to be checking in on it. And it again comes back to, instead of just saying, this is the way we do things, we need to be saying, okay, this is how we do things. Is it how we should be doing them? Can we make it better? And just setting up these times. And don't get dramatic with these things, guys, okay? I'm not telling you to sit down and try to change everything today. I'm just saying, throw it on your calendar, maybe quarterly check-ins to say, how's our business plan look? Like, are the way we're doing things working for us? Maybe we need a new app. Maybe we need to change this process and procedure. Maybe it's no longer serving us. Because a lot of times I find you go into business and you have a way of doing things and then you scale and your systems and processes didn't scale with you. So you might have a $700,000 a year business and you're still using processes that you used when you were doing 300 grand a year. You want to make sure you check in with those and you tweak them if necessary. Okay. Now I know that was a lot. Okay. But trust me, avoiding these financial mistakes like the plague will set you up for financial success. Now, if you need more support on this, you can go ahead and shoot me a message at the Chic CFO, and me and my team are happy to answer any questions for you. And if you enjoyed this episode, please do me a favor and share it with other female entrepreneurs who you think could benefit from this information. Remember, knowledge is power, and I want you to spread that power. Talk soon.